Okay, we are on. I'm now going to write the delete functions of my application. But before I do that, I want to direct you to my data grid view. I was trying to disable the sort function earlier. I was looking for it in the properties section. What you want to do if you want to disable the automatic sort is to go up here, click edit columns, click each column, and then here where it says sort mode, you can click not sortable. I've also made them unresizable, and I've also disabled editing, adding, deleting, and column reordering. And in fact, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to rename this room number so that it looks good. Let me see if that works. That doesn't look too bad. I'll leave it. It's fine. So now I'm gonna go in and write my delete function. So when you double click the delete button, it comes down here. And what we're going to want to do is create a temporary patient object. So patient class, obj equals new patient class. And then we're going to say the object is equal to the current patient object that's selected in the data grid view. So obj equals patient list at main data grid view dot current cell dot row index dot current cell dot row index. And then I'm going to say I'm going to open up a dialog box, but I'm going to declare a variable of dialog result. So dialog result delete equals message box dot show. And I'm going to show a message asking the user if they're sure that they want to permanently delete the patient. And then I'm going to write a title for the dialog box. And then I'm going to display yes and no buttons at the bottom. So message box buttons dot yes no. And then the symbol that's going to show up is going to be a warning symbol. So message box icon dot warning. Okay. And then below this, I'm going to say if delete equals dialog result dot yes. We're going to initiate an object of response from the Firebase response. So Firebase response response equals await client dot delete async. We're going to go into the patient database over here. Slash the patient ID of the patient that's selected. So it's going to be obj.id. And that should be it. And because we're using await down here, we have to declare this as async. If delete equals, this is an assignment operator. What I need is an equality operator. So it should be equals. And I need to make sure that my semicolon is on the outside. So if delete equals yes, it's going to delete the patient object from the database based on the patient object ID. And then if delete equals no, we're going to say message box dot show delete canceled. And then after we do that, because we're updating the database in real time, I want to call the load patient method so that it automatically clears out the list and then uploads or updates the list and uploads the current list to the data grid view. So load patients, and this should work. So I'm going to save and build. First, what I want to do is add some dummy data. So I'm going to click start. And I'm going to go to add patients and just add some dummy data here. I'm just going to add some dummy data. Doesn't matter what this is, just because I'm going to delete it all anyway. Save. That's added. Go to add here. Good. All right. Now I'm going to add a patient with last name A and a patient with last name Z just to make sure that it's sorting properly. So we're going to go here. Oh, it can't be a negative. There should definitely be some error checking for that, but I'll leave that alone for now. So we're going to say patient something something last name A, and then patient something something last name Z, just to make sure that the sort function's working properly. You know, I just realized I made a mistake. I should be more worried about the room number because they're going to sort into the data grid based on room number, but that's fine. We'll put this at 500A. Oh, age. Got to make sure we select the date of birth. So we're going to save. Good. And then one more. It's going to be patient last name B. Doesn't matter. We're going to put him at 550A. Okay. So we're going to say say he was born 1910 or 11, whatever. So save this. Good. So we've got a bunch of dummy data saved in. We can't tell what data is over here because these are all ID numbers. So I'm going to go to my patients list, and all these patients are going to load here. So we have patient Z, patient B, patient A, and then these two random patients with all these random room numbers. But I'm going to click this patient, and I'm going to click delete. Are you sure you want to delete this patient? So this ID is 1222. That's going to be right here. So I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to click. First, I'm going to click no to make sure that to make sure the else clause works. So no, delete canceled. I'm going to click back here, delete. When I click yes, this patient should be deleted. So yes, and there he goes, all deleted. Good. And then the data grid view is replenished with the current list with that patient gone. So this, we're not going to delete patient 1226. That's right here. I'm going to click right here, click delete, click yes. That's all gone. And then the data grid is replenished with the proper values. So if I sort by ID, I want to make sure that when I click this sort buttons, that the patient that I click over here is a patient that's being correctly deleted. So we're going to click delete patient Z. He's 5841. So 5841. So I'm going to click here, click delete, click yes, and this should all be deleted. And then the new list should be populated into the data grid. There we go. Looks like everything's working properly and they're automatically sorted by room number. So I'm going to delete these last two fake patients. And I'm going to sort this by last name just to show that when I put it up at the top, it deletes the proper patient. So we've got last name A up here. Click delete. And that should be 395. So click yes. And now all that's gone. Okay, so we've created information, we've updated information, we've retrieved information, we've updated information, and now we have deleted information. The next thing I'm going to do is write a function that generates a report using an open file dialog box. So I'm just going to do that now. So I'm going to go here. Go to my main form and double click the report menu tool strip. So when I click this button in the menu, I want to open up a open file dialog box and then take all the information that's currently in the patient database and send it to a file on or wherever the user chooses. In fact, I just remember that I forgot to do something on the patient list. So whenever I click a value on this data grid view, I'm going to go to the events and I'm going to say click cell content click. I want to make sure that's correct. Just give me a second. Mouse click. Okay. So I want to make sure that when I click the mouse on this data grid view, it takes the current cell and the current patient object and it displays it onto this rich text box. So I'm going to go to properties and make sure this is read only. Read only is true. And I want to make sure I get the right event. So just give me a second. Yeah, it's going to be the mouse click event. So I'm going to go right here, go to events, and then go to mouse click. Mouse click. So I'm going to double click that to generate an event. And what I want to do when I click on any item in the data grid view is to display that patient's full patient information into the rich text box right next to it. So just give me a second. Alrighty. So I'm going to test this out. I'm going to create an object of the patient class. And I'm going to store the values of the current patient into that object. And I'm going to test this by saying which text box. Let me just make sure I know what that property name is. I'm going to go to my designer, click here, click properties. It's called main display rich text box. Main display rich text box. So main display rich text box dot text equals obj dot first name. obj dot room number plus obj.lastname. This is just for testing purposes. So obj.room number plus obj.id plus obj.lastname. So for testing purposes, I'm just going to make sure this works. Whenever I click a patient object in this data grid view, it should populate into the switch text box. So I'm going to start, go to add patient. I'm going to click this guy. Oh, I'm going to put a space in. Hold on a second, just so we can see it better. All right. So go to patient list, click here, and we have 506, this ID, and then James. Sort by last. We should have, if I click here, it should be 520 in Spiegel. 520 in Spiegel, sort by ID. If we click here, it should be 513, 9595, and then Mine. 513, 95, Mine. Good, so that's working. So what I want to do now is format this patient information into a way that's a little more readable. So what I'm going to do is create a method. I'm going to create a method that returns a string. So I'm going to say string display patient information or something, I don't know. String display patient information. Takes in no parameters. Returns string.format. Now there's a what I want to do here is take the patient that's currently selected. In fact, I'm going to do this, right here. So take the patient that's currently selected and then display that information. So I think I'm going to write a parameter as a patient object class. Patient class obj. And then it's going to be return string.format obj. We're going to say patient report. So let's do patient report and then \r\n. Then we're going to do first name, last name. So let's go, let me just copy these. I'm going to take this, I'm going to go over here and let's go to the class. Good. Okay, so I'm going to take this over here. I'm going to just move it to my other screen so I can have it as a reference. Go back here. So we're going to do patient report. That's going to be the title. And then we're going to do patient report and then patient ID. And over here is going to be last name, first name. 012. Last name, first name. So I'm going to go \r\n, and then oops, hold on a second. I'm going to do this. There we go. It's been a long day. Silicon Valley's final episode is premiering tonight, so I've been trying to get a lot of things done before then. Okay, there we go. So patient report, patient ID, last name, first name, physician. We're going to do code status, and then admit date, date of birth. Then we're going to do age and gender, address and phone number, marital status, ethnicity, religion, and primary diagnosis. How about religion and room number, and then primary diagnosis? So I'm gonna have to go in and change these numbers. All right, so we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You guys know how to count, so I'm just gonna do these. I'll make sure this is correct. So that's going to be, we're going to start here, and that's going to be patient report, and then patient ID, and I'm going to concatenate this with the actual patient ID. So obj.id, okay, and I'm going to copy this. Now I'm going to do patient last name and first name. So last name, first name, I'm going to copy all this. Last name, first name. I'm just going to I think that should be good. So I'm going to go in and change these values now. So patient report, patient ID, then we should have, I'm going to copy these just for reference. They're off my screen. So I'm going to insert a comment here. Okay. So patient report, patient ID, then we have last name, and then so object.last name, then I'm going to do first name, so next is going to be physician and code status. Next is going to be admit date and birth date. Next is going to be age, and so we have ID, last name, first, physician, code, admit, date of birth. We're going to do age and gender. And then we're going to do address and phone number. Then we're going to do marital status, ethnicity. and then looks like we have religion and room number. So I'm going to copy this. In fact, I'm just going to go right here. Control C, Control V, good. So marital status, ethnicity, then religion and room number. And you guys can format this however you want. This is just the template that I like to use. We should probably put room number up here. So how about physician and room number up here? So room number, and then we're going to put religion and code status. Religion and once again, this is purely subjective. You can do whatever you want. And then here's going to be the patient ID. So object.primary diagnosis. So it's a primary, not patient ID, primary diagnosis. Primary DX. Alrighty. So I think that should work. I'm going to delete this. There we go. So this is going to return a string that takes in a patient object and returns the patient properties in this formatted style. Here I'm going to put negative 20 so it can format to the left. A lot of this is just formatting at this point. Okay, so hopefully this works. Now what I want to do, hold on a second, where are we? There we go. So this is returning a string. So when we click on an object in the data grid view, it's going to return an object. So then what we want to do is call display patient information. Display patient information takes in the current object, and that should return a string. So then what we want to do is make that string equal to what's in the rich text box. So the rich text box.text is now going to be equal to this string. So I'm going to copy this, or cut it rather, and then I'm going to put this right here. So I've done this correctly. When I load my patient list, I'm going to click one of these and it should display into this rich text box. There we go. But that formatting is off because this is not mono-spaced font. So I'm going to go back here. Oh, I made a mistake. These should be negative values so that they can sort towards, they can be formatted towards left. But first I'm going to go here, click here and click properties, and I'm going to click text. What you want is a monospaced font, so I'm going to click Consoles, regular 8, and then I'm going to go back to my code. I'm going to click Control F, and I'm going to find everything that's 20. And I want to, in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in a Word document and replace everything. So just give me a second. I'm going to paste this here, Control H for replace, find everything that says 20. In fact, just to be sure, we're going to do comma 20, and then replace with comma negative 20. And that should replace everything. There we go. So what this is going to do is format everything towards the left. And because it's a monospaced font, it should look a lot better. So I'm going to click here, paste, and that should work. So start, patient list, click here, and there we go. This is the patient report. I'm going to put this on the next line. You know what? It doesn't look that bad. That does not look great. So I think what I'm going to do is make everything 30 instead of 20. So I'm going to go back here, Control H. I'm going to find everything that's this, and I'm going to replace it with 30. Replace all. Copy this. I'm going to go back here. And I'm going to select all this. Now it's all spaced 30 to the left. So save and build. That looks a lot better. That looks a lot better. So patient report, patient ID, last name, first name, physician, room number, admit, birth date, age, gender, address. I'm gonna make that 26. I'm just nitpicking at this point. So Control H. We're gonna find all this. Let's try -26, 25. Replace all. Copy it. So then I'm going to start. Now everything's formatted to the left with 25 spaces. Start. Patient list. Click a patient. It looks a lot better. Yeah. So, I mean, that could be a lot better, but I'm gonna leave it this way for now. So let's go. I'm gonna put a space here. /N/R. And then I'm gonna put a space right here. So since I'm already down to 16 here, I'm gonna put 17. And then over here, after this, I'm just gonna put a string of a line. Just to make it look a little bit better. And I'm not going to do much more. This is just a demonstration of the Firebase functionality. Don't save. I'm going to make sure this works. So that should put a line underneath patient report. There we go. Oops, too big. And I need to put another line after this. So /R/N. And I'm going to cut this off just a little bit. That should look okay. Yeah, that looks fine. So patient report, we have a line. You can't edit this because it's read-only. You have the patient ID, last name, first name, physician, room number, admit, birth date, age, gender, address, phone, marital status, ethnicity, religion, code, and primary diagnosis, which is chest congestion. So what I want to do now is just to make sure that the update works, so that when I edit the patient and we come back here and we try to view it in this text box, that the information is actually changed. So I'm going to click Fujiko Mine. I'm going to click edit. She has a status post colostomy surgery. We're going to say that she also has diabetes and COPD. We're going to say that she's Islam. We're going to move her to 505B. Make sure that no one's in 505B, 505A, good. So if you look over here, for patient with ID 9595, Fujiko, that information should change. This data grid view should reload with her now in room 505B. And then when we click, you're going to see that this information has changed. Right now, it just says status post colostomy surgery. Next time, it's going to say status post colostomy surgery, diabetes, and COPD. So update. She's changed over here. Click OK. This reloads. And then we want to click Fujiko over here. And then the information is changed. There was a bit of a bug that I just noticed. When we edit, I'm going to click another patient. When I click edit, and I move this patient to room 545A, and I click edit, it's gonna show a change over here, but it's not going to update this which text box immediately, which is just a little bit of a problem. If we click that patient, everything's, the room numbers changed, as you can see here. But I'm gonna see if I'm just gonna clear out that text box after I edit the patient. So let's go over here, and whenever we edit, hold on a second, here we are, the edit button. We load the patient into the data table, but we also want to make sure that the rich text box is clear. So rich text box, main display, rich text box dot text dot clear. Nope, dot text equals nothing. There we go. So I think this is it. It's taken quite a while, and this is really just a demonstration of the project that I made for my associate's degree capstone. I'll show the actual project later on, but I'm going to start this just to make sure it's working. Patient list. We're going to go Spike Spiegel. We're going to edit him. We're going to move him to, let's say, 501D. And we're going to say he has, right now he just has left upper extremity fracture and COPD. So we're going to add non-healing wound. We're going to click update. You're going to see a change over here because we're changing that patient information. But when we click update, it should clear out this text box. And then when we find Spike Spiegel in room 501D, all this information should be updated. So update, Spike has been updated over here. Click OK. Oh no, it didn't clear out the text box. That's a problem. But if you click here, you see that his information has changed. That's just a tiny bug. Main display with text box equals nothing. Load patients. Oh, that's the delete button? No, that's the delete button. My bad. So copy. I clicked the delete button by accident. So view the designer, I'm going to click the edit button. There we go. So now it should work. In fact, let's put this underneath the delete button as well. Maybe not. Okay, patient list. We're going to click Martinez. This is Alejandro Martinez. We're going to edit Alejandro. He has congestive heart failure. Now he has severe edema. So click update, and we're going to move him to 511A. So you're going to see all that change. Click update. Clears the text box. He's now in 511A, and now he has severe edema. So we've created information, we have retrieved information, we've updated information, we've deleted information, and now we've printed a patient report. So now I'm going to go back to the main form, and I'm going to click over here and then click report button, and I'm going to click an open file dialog box, and I'm going to save that report that I generated onto the rich text box into a file. So here it says a string patient report. I'm going to go back over here to patient list. Here we have display patient information. That's a string. Let's just rename this patient report. Patient report. And I'm going to copy this. Go back to my main form, go to my code, and I'm going to replace this method with this method. So here in the report tool strip, what I want to do is generate an open file dialog box. So just give me a moment. So what I'm going to do is start a try catch block. I'm going to put message box error occurred. Just gonna, never mind. Message box dot show error occurred. And then in the try catch block, I'm going to do var response equals patient, or var response equals await client get async patient database. What I want to do is get the entire database that's currently here, because if you look here, this tool strip is part of the main form, and everything that loads here is part of the child form. So no matter where I am, I'm going to have this patient report button. So I don't necessarily have to click the patient list in order to generate a report to save onto the desktop. So we're going to want to get the most up-to-date patient list from the Firebase. So I'm going to make sure that my Firebase config and client are up here, and here they are. So I'm going to say try, and then inside the try catch, I'm going to say var response equals await. Got to make sure this is async, private async void. Var response equals await client dot get async the entire patient database, not just one individual patient. And then we're going to say, we're going to take the patient dictionary. Did I declare patient dictionary here? No, I didn't. Okay. So I'm going to X out of that. Up here, I want to declare a patient list and a patient dictionary. I'm just going to copy that from somewhere else. So right under here, a dictionary of type string and patient class. And then call that patient dictionary in the list of patient class called patient list. So here, I'm going to say, it's going to be like when we downloaded the information into the patient list. So it's going to be patient dictionary equals response dot result as dictionary of type string and patient class. And then we're going to say if the patient dictionary isn't null, I'm going to sort by room again. So I'm going to say var sort room equals from X. This is using link in the patient dictionary, order by X dot value, which is a patient class object, dot room number, ascending, and it's going to be ascending select X. I'm going to say for each object in that dictionary, for each of our item in the collection, which is this sort room, we're going to say patient list dot add the item dot value, which is the patient object or the patient class object. And then if it doesn't equal null, we're going to do all that stuff. If it does equal null, we're just going to say database dot is empty at the moment. So now we've populated the patient list with everything that's currently in the database whenever we click this report button. So we're getting the most up-to-date patient list. And then if there's an error, you catch it down here. And then underneath that, we're going to use a using statement. I'm going to use the save file dialog box. SFD. In order to use the save file dialog box, you need to make sure you have using system.io. I don't have that. So this is going to throw an error. Or maybe not. Never mind. I don't know. We'll see. Let's say SFD equals new save file dialog box. I thought you needed system.io for this, but I guess not. So save file dialog box. And then I'm going to filter for text documents. Equals text documents, a bar, and then an asterisk .txt. And then I'm going to write a comma, validate names equals true. Okay, that should be working. I'm going to build just to make sure no errors. Good. Then inside this using statement, we want to say if save file dialog box dot show dialog equals dialog result dot OK. We're going to use another using statement. See. So now I'm going to use a stream, and the stream requires file.io. So I'm going to say stream. Yeah, it's messing up. Stream s equals file.open. It's not even working because I don't have the proper using statement up here. This using statement allows you to use a class and then dispose of it automatically. But up here, using statements help you import methods from other classes. So using system.io, I think that should work. So stream s equals file.open. File.open takes in save file dialog box dot file name, comma file mode dot create. And we're gonna file mode dot create. This allows you to overwrite any files that are already in the directory you're trying to save to. If you put file mode dot create new, you cannot overwrite files. So I always like to use file mode dot create. So we're going to do that and add an ending parentheses, and then go down here. You're going to initialize a string builder object. String builder, patient string builder. I'm going to just call this SB. String builder, sorry. String builder SB equals new string builder. And then I'm going to initialize the datetime object. So datetime now equals datetime.now. And then I'm going to say string report created equals report created at this particular time. So if whenever they click this button, it's going to show the date and the time that the report was generated. So I'm going to write string report created equals string.format. And I'm going to write patient report created on. I'm going to write the datetime.now object. So that's going to be current, or now rather. All right. So then we're going to take the string builder object, and we're going to append the that line. So sb.append report created, and then below this we're going to write a for each loop for each var item in the patient list. I'm going to take this report. I'm going to take this report here. That's right. I'm going to take this method, and I'm going to say I'm going to generate a string. So it's going to take the item, which is the patient class. Let's just call this for each var patient in the patient list. We're going to take this patient object and pass it as a parameter into this method, and that's going to generate a string with the patient report for that particular patient. So then once it goes through all of that, what I'm going to do is append this to the string builder. So we're going to say sb.append this. In fact, I'm just going to do this here. So sb.append this string value. Okay. And after that, I'm going to append a line to separate. Well, there's already a line there. Never mind. Let's see. So there's already a line down here, so I'm not going to put a line there. And then after this for each loop, I'm going to say s.write for the string writer dot write. I didn't implement a string writer. Whoops. Okay, so using string writer SW equals new string writer. And then inside this string writer, I'm going to put all of these things. And this string writer is going to take the string here as a parameter. So then if the dialog result is okay, we're going to use a stream. We're going to use a string writer, which takes in the stream as a parameter. We're going to initialize a string builder object. We're going to write datetime.now, and then a report created, which is going to save the current time that the report's being generated. And then for each item, for each patient in the patient list, we're going to append the patient report down here into that string builder object. And then after the for each loop, we're going to say sw.write. We're going to write the string builder.toString. So sb.toString. So that's string builder. I think that's okay. So I'm going to build just to make sure no errors. And I think that's it. I want to say this is it. I'm going to try to run it. So I'm just going to explain what I'm doing one more time. So when I click this report button up here, it's going to take me down here. I put in a try catch block to get a dictionary from the current patient database that's the most updated in any given time. If the dictionary isn't null, you create a new dictionary that's sorted by room number, because these are automatically sorted by patient ID. And then for each patient object, or each key value pair inside this sort room dictionary, you want to add the item dot value to the patient list. And then down here you want to use a using statement, save file dialog box. If the result leaves okay, you want to use a stream and then a stream writer with the stream as a parameter. Initialize a string builder object, initialize a date to the current time, and then append each patient report that's generated down here to that string builder. So then you're going to write the string builder to the file that we saved to. So hopefully this works. I'm going to click start. I'm going to just click report. Opens up a file dialog box. I'm going to go to my desktop and I'm going to create a new file. Let's call this patient report. Navigate here, and then we're going to call this patient report file as a text document. Click save. We don't have any errors, so I'm going to exit out of here. I'm going to navigate to my desktop, and we have the patient report file folder. And there we go, patient report file. When we open this, there we go, patient report created on 12/8 at 6:42 p.m. I should have put a carriage return. This looks like PMP. I'm not sure what that is. I'm gonna go in and fix that. But as you can see, it's saving the patient ID, last name, first name, birth date, gender, and all that good stuff for each patient. And it looks like it's properly formatted and separated with the line. Except the word patient report seems to be getting printed over and over and over again. So I'm gonna have to go in and fix that. So let's just do that now. Let's put this right here. And I'm gonna go back to this. So this is separating the line. Patient report created on. So here, instead of this, let's delete that. So this is going to be the patient ID, and that's a line. That's a line. This is going to be the patient ID. That's number 1. So 0, 1. So what we can do is delete all of this, and it should still work. Good. So now it's going to have patient ID, all that good stuff, and then all this is now gone. So hopefully it should still work. So if I've done this correctly, I'm going to, hold on, I'm going to put this over here. So I'm going to press start. Click patient report. It navigates back to the folder we were previously in. I'm just going to double click this and I'm going to tell it to override the file. Do you want to replace it? Yes. And then if I go, I'm going to exit here. And if we go in here, we should see a patient report with the date and the time that we just saved. So patient report created on 12/8, 6:45 p.m. So I'm going to have to put a carriage return. So let's go here. /R, /N, build. The time is 6:45, 37, 38 p.m. So we're going to click patient report. We can create a new file. So let's just create a new file. Patient report 2. And if you don't specify an extension, it automatically gives it a TXT extension. But you can save it as a rich text format or a Microsoft Word document. But I'm going to leave this as a text file. So save, and then you see over here it's been generated. Double click it, and now we have patient report created on 12/8, 6:46:04 p.m., 6:46, 12/8. Then we have patient ID and all the patient information, patient ID, all the patient information. It's not the best looking report and it's not the best looking application, but everything works the way it's supposed to. So I'm going to go over all this one more time. This is the main form. These are the menu tool strips items. Clicking home takes you home. Clicking patient list gives you a patient list of the most updated information. If you click any patient, you can see the patient information in this rich text box right next to it. If you sort by room, it sorts by room, sort by ID, sort by last name. You can edit a patient based on who you've selected. We've selected Alejandro Martinez. If we change any information, let's say we're moving him to room 5, let's call him room 400A. So if we click update, he's now going to be at the top of the list because the list is going to be automatically resorted using room number. So update, and there's Alejandro Martinez right there. If you want to delete a patient, you can delete a patient. Let's delete last name. So let's delete Zeke. If we click delete, are you sure you want to delete? Yes. Mr. Z last name is gone, but this is still here, and that's a bug. But it's a very simple bug. You just have to go into the method. In fact, I'll do that right now. I'm going to go into the method and make sure that I load the patient list. So let's click patient list form. I'm going to click delete, and I'm going to make sure that that text box equals nothing after we delete a patient. If there are no errors, I'm going to click run. So we go with patient list. Let's go to add patient first, just to add a fake patient. Here you have the patient addition form. The age is automatically generated. Let's say he's born in 1910 or 1919. He's 100. Address is whatever, ethnicity is whatever. We're gonna put him in room 700, or rather, let's put him in room 516A. And this is nothing. We click save. Patient random name has been added to database. So go over here. There he is. He's in room 516. We can edit him, but right now we're just gonna delete him. So if you click delete, are you sure you want to delete? We're gonna click yes. He's now gone, and the rich text box removes all the previous information. So home, patient list, add patient, report, and exit. And that is the end of my FireSharp CRUD application. My name is Emmanuel. I am currently a student at Rose State College. This was a preview of the application that I made for my capstone project. So yeah, that's about it. If you hung on this long, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. In fact, I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to click patient report, and I'm going to call this one final report. And it's going to save here, as you can see. And what I'm going to do is open this up and show that the information is different for each text file because they were saved at different times. As you can see here, this was created 6:46, this was created 6:49, and Spike Spiegel's the first patient, whereas here, because we've moved Alejandro to room 400A, he's now the first patient. So theoretically, you could implement this in a way of some sort of a version control, showing the differences in patient condition on a daily basis. Obviously, you'd want something with more security. This is just a text file, and an actual patient database would require a lot of encryption. But this was really just to show the capabilities of C# connecting to a Firebase database. Thank you very much. Please hit the like button, subscribe if you'd like to. I plan on creating more videos with C#. Hopefully I'll be moving to ASP.NET MVC tutorials soon. Thank you very much for your time, and have a wonderful evening.